Get ready for the show, it's about to begin. Pro fan talk when we dive right in. Sports talk, hot takes, ain't nothing we lack. We the real fans, nothing holding us back. Mic check, 1, 2, y'all know the drill. We bringing the energy, we keep it real. Touchdowns on liquid air, on the slam dunks on the court. Every sport, every game, we holding down the fort. We breaking down the plays, dissecting the stats. Pro fan talk, we keeping it fat. Debating with passion, no filter, no doubt. We the voice of the fans, we scream and we shout.
What's going on, folks? It's about that time. You know what it is. Pro Fan Talk in the building. Appreciate everybody already in the chat, all ready to get it on and popping. Lots of news today. First and foremost, Philadelphia stand up. Philadelphia stand up. Let's go. As a former Philadelphia Eagle, still in the South Jersey, Philadelphia area, representing. We coming in 2030. We coming, y'all. We coming. We ain't got a name yet. We don't have a name yet, but we coming. The news came out today. It was Philadelphia. It was Cleveland, Detroit, Portland, and who am I missing? It was somebody else. Somebody else. I can't remember. I think that's all of it. But we got the WNBA coming to Philly, y'all. How about that? How about them apples coming to Philadelphia, the Philadelphia? We're gonna be getting it in. I hope they come out with this name. I done heard the Broad Street Baddies. I done heard the Philadelphia Johns, which I kind of like. But a lot of people like the Liberty Bells. I don't like that because it sounds too much like New York. New York they got the lock on Liberty. Let them have it. We don't have to be the Liberty Bells or nothing like that. So I don't know. I like Philadelphia Fury. I even like the Philadelphia Falcons. As funny as that sounds. So we got time to figure that out, man. But there's a lot of stuff going on. Melissa Smith got traded. The All-Star votes came in. The whole Philadelphia thing. We got a lot of stuff going on, man. A lot of stuff. In the dark with a smile, you are first out the limo, bro. So I don't know how people in the chat feel, man. I don't know. We getting there. We are getting there. Y'all let me know how you feel about all of the situation. Let's start out number one with the All-Star voting. We can get that. Let me say what's up to everybody first. In the dark with a smile, you was first out the limo, bro. So you know I appreciate you. Can you relate? Been showing up lately, man. Strong with the consistency, man. I appreciate you. Miss D, 6'9" women's sports. Okay. Hey, back at you. I appreciate you. My man Carlos, always in the building. Daniel Berry Sports, always in the building. Appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate y'all. Kev the PRF as usual. So are we scouting middle school girl hoops for Philly franchise? Hey, listen, man. Listen, all I know is, and I said this earlier today, where's she at? All I know is, did they put it in there? Kalia Capo, she'll only be 35 in 2030. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, man. So she'll be 35. So maybe she can come on back home to Philly. She a North Philly girl. I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at that. Who's you love what shoe you talking about? I'm confused. What shoe? What shoe you looking at? But I appreciate you. I don't know what shoes you talking about. But oh yeah, man. Shoe. Yeah. Dark with a smile. What shoe are you referring to, bro? I'm confused. Oh, you love my show. Oh, thank you. I was confused. I was like, did I put a pair of Nikes in the background? Yeah, I'm confused, man. Because it's funny, I just bought a new pair of golf shoes. So I was like, did y'all see my picture Am I new Adidas or something? Like I don't know what's going on. It's all good, bro. It's all good. We've all been there. We've all been there. The good old automatic speller on the phones and whatnot. So it's all good. It's all good, man. But yeah, let's get on with it, man. Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, All-Star captains by fan vote. Now I heard some people in the chats and things like that um, doing the content. A lot of people that are not favorable to the Caitlin Clark persuasion. They're not fans of Caitlin Clark, and they keep saying, "How does she get so many votes?" Trying to insinuate that the WNBA was swinging the vote, and I'm like, it can't be this hard to figure it out. What's up, Steven? South Jersey in the building. There you go, GT Stallions. Um, it's not that hard. Caitlin Clark is the most visible female athlete at this present moment. She's bigger than Coco Gauff. She's bigger than Asia Wilson. She's bigger than Paige. And I'm trying to think Venus, Serena, not necessarily Venus, but Serena was in the news not too long ago. Coco Gauff just won some open. Can't remember what it was. And I'm trying to think of anybody else. Sha'Carri Richardson. I'm trying to think of the top female athletes in the lexicon right now. And here's the test that I say. Me and my wife were talking about this today, and I told her this is when you know somebody has broken through the threshold, and now you're into that celebrity status. Because you got some athletes, you look at Michael Jordan, you look at LeBron, you look at Tiger Woods, you look at Steph Curry, Venus and Serena. Trying to think of somebody. Give me somebody else. Put some names in the chat. Think of some other athletes, male or female, that have broken the threshold. And this is the threshold. And when I explain this, then you put your names in the chat. The threshold is you go to your friend, your family member, your grandmother, your great grandmother, your play cousin, whoever. Somebody that is not into sports. Michael Jordan could smack them in the face. They would have no idea who it was. Somebody that's not into sports. If you would walk up to them and mention Caitlin Clark, they might not follow basketball, but they would know the name. They would know the name. People that didn't watch basketball knew Michael Jordan, knew Magic Johnson, knew Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. People that didn't watch golf knew Tiger Woods. People that didn't watch NASCAR, you've heard the name Dale Earnhardt. So those are the people that break the threshold because they've captured the public eye, and people that don't even follow the sport at least know your name. That is when you know they've broken through the threshold. Caitlin Clark has done that. Caitlin Clark has done that. I don't know too many other people. Candace Parker, maybe. And in my opinion, Candace Parker is the GOAT for the WNBA, in my opinion. She's the best to ever do it. With special consideration to Maya Moore, because Maya Moore walked away from it. If Maya Moore would have stuck with it, I believe Maya Moore would have been the best to ever do it. So when you get some names that break through that threshold, somebody who doesn't watch, doesn't pay attention, doesn't care one way or the other, but if you tell them a name, they would recognize the name. Yeah, Steve, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. All the people, like, there's levels to it. There's people in Philadelphia that don't necessarily follow the Eagles, but they know who Jalen Hurts is. They know who Jason Kelsey is. They've broken through that threshold. Travis Kelsey, with the whole relationship with Taylor Swift, he's broken through that threshold. Now people know him. Now they might know him as Taylor Swift's boyfriend, but they know a little. Don't he play football? So they know enough. They've broken through that threshold, and we got that. And honestly, I'm trying to think. There's not too many women in the league now who have broken that threshold. As good as Asia is, I don't necessarily think she's broken through that threshold. If you ask somebody that doesn't follow the NBA, or would they know who Asia Wilson was? Would they know who Fee Collier was? I think they would recognize the name Diana Taurasi. You see what I'm saying? So to me, that's the threshold. When they go above and beyond, and people that don't even follow your sport got something to say. Got something to say. Angel Reese, I think she's close. I think she may have. You know what? I think Angel Reese has broken the threshold because people have an opinion. Angel Reese has become polarizing. People can't figure out why they love her or hate her. You hate her, you don't like her attitude, you don't like the way she play, or whatever the other situation is. But you know of her. You know her name. So, who's your put some names in the chat. Put some names in the chat. Who are the athletes that are broken through the threshold? And right now, you got Fee. Right now, Fee Collier is the best player in the WNBA right at this present moment. She's playing better than Asia Wilson. And in my opinion, Asia Wilson is the only competition. Fee Collier right now is number one. Asia Wilson is like 1.01. Because the Las Vegas Aces have been struggling doesn't negate how good Asia Wilson is. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people want to, if the team is doing bad, that player just is not as good as you thought they were. And that's not the case. That's not the case. That girl is still a two-time champion and three-time MVP. She can still ball, but they going through their struggles right now because what do I always say? What's my favorite saying? Everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn. Cheryl Swoops. You know what? Cheryl Swoops is a good one, and now she's infamous. Now she's becoming infamous for all her comments on Gilbert Arenas and how she went about things last year. So she's become infamous. But that's a good one. That's a good one. Fee and Asia are the only true superstars of the league. We'll agree to disagree on that one. I can put some more names out there. For sure. To me, Fee and Asia, they're the easy ones. Because Asia was the back-to-back champion and MVP. Fee just went to the finals last year. You know what I mean? The way she's been playing this year, I would put Sabrina up there. Sabrina's been balling this year. Now, last year she was balling until she got to the finals, and it was like, ugh. But they managed to do what they got to do and get that chip. But definitely put Fee and Asia up there. Satu Sabali is almost there, but I'm not going to put her up there right now. I need a little bit more consistency from her. Did not expect, even though she be crashing out, Skylar Diggins, I didn't expect for her to play as well as she's playing. I like what Brittany Sykes is doing in Washington. Sonia Citron is going to be the truth. But I think her and Kiki Iriafen are canceling each other out. Because both of them should be in the running for Rookie of the Year. But I think they just going to end up canceling each other out because they both playing really well. And when you got two rookies like that on the same team, they pulling the energy from each other. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. But I like Sonia Citron. Both her and Kiki Iriafen do not look like rookies. And you saw some of the rooks that played for Dallas the other night. JJ Quinterly and I forget what the other girl's name was. But they looking good. And if anything, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Rakea Jackson, Cam Brink, all them rookies that came out last year and had them good years, they kind of broke the mold because now you got to let these young women play. You got to let them play. You have to let them play. It can't be no more sitting in the wings for 2 to 3 years waiting for an opportunity, wait for you to understand and catch up to speed. They tried to do all of that stuff last year with Caitlin and Angel. You got to give them grace. They just not gonna come out and do all of this stuff, and they playing against grown women, and we heard all of them excuses last year. And you know what? Both of them came out and did the damn thing. They didn't think Caitlin Clark was gonna be able to shoot, and what did she do? They didn't think Angel Reese was gonna be able to come out and ball, and she only averaged a double double as a freaking rookie. The hell. So hopefully that changed some things, and all of these coaches have come on board, and they're gonna start playing. Kelsey Plum, nah. Kelsey Plum hasn't broken the threshold, not in my opinion. Not in my opinion. Because you got to remember, all these people, Kelsey Plum, Chelsea Gray, um, yeah, even Skylar Diggins, you know them because you follow basketball, but you got to ask the people that don't follow basketball. And I will challenge anybody. That'll be some good homework for you. All right, that'll be some good homework for you. When you get off stream tonight, if you think about it tonight or tomorrow, ask somebody on your job or in your family. Ask them about Caitlin Clark. Ask them no. Ask them about Fee Collier, Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, um, Skylar Diggins. Think of some of the other names other than Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, and ask those people, do they recognize those names? But it's got to be somebody that doesn't follow the sport. It's got to be somebody that's really not into sports whatsoever. That will let you know. Because people know Caitlin Clark that don't watch basketball. They just know the name. They've been watching the commercials. Who's the girl on the commercial that says Sheboygan? That's Caitlin Clark. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a nuanced conversation, but that leads into the whole voting by for the All-Star game. And the one thing people got to remember, right? This is what you got to remember. Hold on, let me get my other the All-Star vote. The All-Star vote is a popularity contest. Don't get it twisted. It is a popularity contest. Hold on, I'm gonna try something real quick. All right, I'm messing around with these settings, so I'm trying some stuff real quick. Hold on for a second. I got two cameras. Yikes! Nope, that didn't work. Oh, because I get aha. I got you. I got you. Hold on. There we go. Let me try it now. I got two cameras going. Um, but how do I get the third? Wait a minute. Share screen, window, entire screen. Nope, nope, nope. Chrome tab. Lord have mercy. Man, I don't know what I did, but you know what? We ain't even gonna do that. Nope. We ain't ready for prime time yet. Not yet. We'll come back to that at another date. I ain't messing around. All right. But let's get to this. All right. So um Caitlin is a star. Don't get it twisted. That is true. No other player is guarded the way that Caitlin is. I would agree. I would agree. Um, the All Star vote is a popularity contest. The All Star vote by the fans strictly by popularity. Don't get it twisted. You can vote 8 million times. Um, so that's a popularity contest. And I know I saw a lot of people that was upset that Angel Reese didn't get voted higher. And the one thing with that, which is confusing, and this is a very real situation. And in my opinion, this is when a lot of fans get, I don't want to say delusional, but they get misguided based on what they see. most fans think, and this is directly related to Angel Reese not getting more votes. And I think people think she should get more votes because of her influence and her rise in social media. Angel Reese has got social media on lock, point, period, in the paragraph. It's not even a discussion. She is numero uno. And Caitlin Clark is more than a million behind her, I think. Sometimes people forget how much a million is. But, Angel Reese has been out there, right? And what people get confused is they think that those 4.1 million subscribers, or however many she has, is going to be a one-to-one translation to the viewership. And it's not. It's just like sales. If I give you a product and I tell you to go door to door and you go knock on 100 doors, how many of those products are you going to sell? You're not going to sell 100 of them. It could be the best thing in the world, but you're still not going to get 100 people to sell them. There's going to be a very small percentage of people that take the bait. And it's the same thing with social media and this whole landscape. I mean, think about anybody that uses Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or whatever. If you're on Facebook and you join a group because this is what I do. I join a group. It's a Indiana Fever group, and it might be 60,000 people in that group. But if I post a video, say, hey, I'm broadcasting the Indiana Fever game for Indiana Fever fans, and everything is about the Indiana Fever, and I get maybe 10 people to show up from that particular group of 60,000, it doesn't translate. And I think a lot of people get misguided in thinking that the social media influence is going to be a direct translation to the viewership and the attendance and everything like that. And it just isn't. I still think she should be on the list and she should be on the All-Star team without a doubt. But I understand if this is how they're going to do it. Caitlin Clark, number 1 in the fan votes, number 9 voted by other players. In the NFL, you got the Pro Bowl, which is the same thing. It's the Pro Bowl is the fan vote. You already know. I'm a former NFL, so that's going to always be my go-to. Comps with the NFL. The Pro Bowl is the popular vote, is the fan vote. The All-Pro, when they say that you made 3 Pro Bowls, but you made 4 All-Pros. All-Pros carry more weight in the league because All-Pros are voted on by your peers, by the other players and coaches in the league that watch you on film and watch you play every week. So the players vote on that. That carries more weight. That means the people that you played against respect you enough to call you one of the best. And it's not just who was on the cover of Madden. It's not just whoever was on Monday Night Football more than anybody else. It's the guys in the locker room that watch film every day and they consistently say, hey, this guy is a problem. This guy, when he comes to town, we know we got a game on our hands. And it's the same way with, I don't know what they call it. If they call it All-Pro, like I don't know what exactly they call it, but I know the All-Star voting is for the fans. Now the players voting, and I'm sure they got some phrase or acronym for it or whatever, but that is the one that carries more weight. But is it me or does it feel a little different? Because I mean, you got a lot more attitudes in the W than you do any other place. That is quite evident. That is quite evident. Caitlin Clark snapping at the refs, clapping her hands and doing all that kind of stuff, even when she was hurt on the bench. And everybody went nuts about that. And then Paige Beckers did the same shit and didn't nobody say a thing. And my thing is just keep it 100 and be consistent with it. If Caitlin Clark takes a hard foul, Everybody and their mom is talking about how rough the game is. Get those thugs out of the game. And I will tell you now, as a Caitlin Clark fan, I did not think JC Sheldon tried to poke her in the eye on purpose. I don't. I know how those things go. When you overzealous and you overreach and the adrenaline and you moving, in my opinion, she did not try to poke her in the eye on purpose. Yeah, she caught her and she caught her good. Did I think she meant to do that? No, I don't. That's just me. And also, let me say this before we go any further, because this is a realization that I have come to in my opinions and in my rants, in my perspective from being a former pro player and all of that type of stuff. I am not trying to convince you one way or the other. That is not my purpose, not my riddle to solve. All I'm doing is giving you my perspective, my opinion. That's it. Y'all know what I say. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody got one. But I am not trying to change your mind. Because when it comes to this, in this space, when we're talking about basketball, when you're talking about football, keep it basketball, keep it football. And what I mean by that is when we're talking about Kaylin Clark, when we're talking about Angel Reese, when you're talking about Satu Sabali, when you're talking about Skylar Diggins or Jewel Lloyd or Asia Wilson or Brianna Stewart or Sabrina Ionescu or Kelsey Plum or De'Erica Hamby, anybody, whether you like them, don't like them, if you feel some kind of way about them, it will play itself out on the court. If y'all saw my video about Angel Reese, y'all told me Angel Reese was trash. And what I was simply saying was, I know what the deal is. I know she was going through a rough spot early in the year. She had her worst game as a basketball player, in my opinion. She had her worst game. Where was that? Hold on. It was early. It was at New York at Chicago. They lost 99-74. She had 2 points and 12 boards. She was 0 for 8 from the floor. The only 2 points came in free throws, and she was 2 for 6 from the free throw line. She was god-awful hot garbage. And she deserved to be criticized. That was the worst game, I believe, in her basketball career. Worst. But I also know how the game is played. And there's some things that happen regardless of the sport that you play. It happens in football, baseball, basketball, hockey, tennis, everything. Golf, you name it. Cricket, soccer, always happens. You're going to have your ebbs and flows. You're going to be up and you're going to go down. I had games where I rushed for 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, and then I had games where I barely broke 50. You have your ups and downs. She was at a down point. She was at a bottom. But not for 1 second did I think she was not going to come out of it. I don't operate like that because I know how the game is played. Everybody gets a turn. You hear me say that a lot. You will hear me say that phrase a lot. And what that simply means is everybody going to have their good games and they're going to have their bad games. And all you simply trying to do is have more good days than bad days. That's it. That's it. Y'all heard me mention earlier about Sabrina Ionescu balled last year, and then when she got in the finals last year, she looked horrible. Sabrina Ionescu did not have a good finals performance when they won the title. But all she had to do was make one shot at one given time, and everything else was erased. Because she made the most of that opportunity, regardless of how she played the remainder and prior to that bucket. That bucket made all the difference in the world. Forget whatever happened elsewhere. That bucket put them in the overtime and gave Brianna Stewart another opportunity to take over and win the title. She couldn't hit water at a beach in the finals, but she made that one bucket, and that bucket made all the difference. And I'm saying all of that to simply say everybody gets a turn. When you a shooter, when you a guard, you keep shooting. When you play it underneath the basket, I know it's not an anomaly that Angel Reese misses a lot of lots of shots under the basket. I know she does. But she's still scoring 24 points and 18 points. And I don't give a damn if she get her own rebounds. That doesn't bother me. That means that somebody else on the other team ain't doing what the hell they supposed to do. And if I was a coach on the other team, somebody would be getting cussed out. That's all I'm saying. But everybody goes through their ups and downs. Caitlin Clark is in a slump. Luckily for Indiana, Kelsey Mitchell came out of her slump when Caitlin Clark was going in the slump. And when I say slump, I mean their long ball is not falling. They were still scoring points, but Caitlin Clark is known for her threes, the logo threes. Kelsey Mitchell was known for her threes, that high arcing shot, and her driving to the lane. And neither one of them shots wasn't falling. And Caitlin Clark was struggling. Here comes Kelsey Mitchell. Let me take over. Let me remind you of who I am. I broke the records before Caitlin Clark did. Caitlin Clark broke my records. Everybody goes through their ups and downs, man. Ups and downs. So when you get voted, let's go back to that. When she voted, let me see. Paige Becker's fan rank is number 2. Media ranks number 5. But player rank is the important one. This is the important one right here. The player rank. So she's ranked 4th. Caitlin Clark is ranked 9th. Sabrina Ionescu is ranked 2nd. Alicia Gray is ranked number 1 by the players. I'm not going to disagree with that because she's been balling this year. So that's a respect factor. Kelsey Mitchell is number 6. I like that one. Although I believe Kelsey Mitchell should be a little bit higher, but that's just me. Skylar Diggins, she's ranked 3rd. Skylar Diggins would get more with the popular vote if she wasn't always cussing somebody out. If she wasn't always cussing somebody out, she would hire that. Kelsey Plum, 6'6" and 16. How'd she drop all the way down to 16? She wasn't having a great year. And the same reason that people criticize Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Plum talks a lot of shit. I like Kelsey Plum. Fun fact, I thought Kelsey Plum, first time I ever saw Kelsey Plum, first time I ever laid eyes on her, I thought she was a flag football player. I saw her at, I guess it was halftime of a Lakers game or somebody was playing. I don't know who it was. I saw her at halftime throwing footballs or T-shirts into the crowd. And what I later learned, because the video shows her looking at somebody in the crowd, pointing to them and just launching a T-shirt. Had a good spiral and everything. And it made it all the way to the dude in the suite. What I later found out was that dude that she was pointing to was her dad. And she wasn't a flag football player. She was a basketball player. So that's when people get out there and you never know how you're going to see people and get introduced to people. And then when I started watching the WNBA, I was like, oh, that's who that is. That's the girl that broke Kelsey Mitchell's record. So just a story. Sometimes that's the way you think, and that's how it comes across to me. Who else we got? Brittany Sykes. Me personally, I like Brittany Sykes and I like how she plays this year. I don't mind where she's at. A lot of people get upset because she was ranked above Caitlin Clark. And I'm like, listen, these are your opinions. And these are the opinions of the people that she plays with. Go talk to them. Go talk to the other players on the court. I ain't mad at that because truth be told, and again, y'all know I'll keep it 100. Y'all know I'll keep it real with you. As a Caitlin Clark fan, Caitlin Clark ain't been playing great. She had the one game against New York where she lit them up. She had another game earlier where she scored what 27 points or something like that. So she's had a couple of good games, but she's also been struggling. So I get it. And I'm not getting bent out of shape because she ain't number one in everything. Yeah, I don't want her to be. She got things she need to work on too. She need to work on moving her feet on defense, and she got to work on her attitude because her body language is trash. Her body language is trash when she gets upset. Let me say it like that. Let me say it like that. Turnovers will get better. And as long as she hitting, the turnovers look worse when she ain't making shots. And just like Angel Reese getting her own rebounds, Caitlin Clark is throwing is launching good passes that are not caught by the receiver. A lot of her teammates are dropping passes. You know what I'm saying? So, what's up, Brandon? Appreciate you, man. The players vote for other players by how they guard them. And that's fair. That's up to their discretion. That's up to their discretion. So I don't. To me, as long as you on the list, I don't care about rankings. And I'll feed a little bit more NFL into this. Yes, Nicholas, 100%, bro. She been hurt a lot. That's fair. That's a fair criticism. Not even a criticism. That's just a reality. But everybody's got. They want you to do different things for different reasons. The players vote for other players based on how they guard them, how they come after them, and all that type of stuff. You either got the respect or you don't. Some people get more respect than others. I'm in Philadelphia. I'm a former Eagle, so of course I follow the Eagles and Jalen Hurts and his trajectory and path and everything he's gone through. And being from Cincinnati, and then Nick Sirianni, the head coach of the Eagles, being from Ohio, of course so there's more to it to me than that. But I understand the same things apply, the same rules apply. The reason why they hate Jalen Hurts is because he don't do it like everybody else do it. He's not a 6'5" quarterback with a arm that can throw 80 yards in the air. He ain't doing that. But all of those guys that they like that have never won a Super Bowl. Haven't been to 2 Super Bowls in 3 years and won one. They haven't done that. So when you get some of these women in the W, to your point, Brandon, how they're playing at any given moment, that matters. How many people are watching the game when they're playing at any given moment? That matters. So when you get the mad viewership, when you get the attention that you want, and then you lay an egg as a player, people remember that. They don't remember that you came back and you had a double-double, almost had a triple-double, and had 5 good games in a row. All they remember is the last time they saw you play, and it was a stinker. So they remember that stinker, and they associate that with you until the next time they might see you play. That's the way it goes. So I don't worry about lists because lists don't tell me nothing. That's just a big list of everybody's opinion. That's all it is. Because guess what? You look at everybody on that list. Paige Beckers is number one, but she ain't gonna make the playoffs. The last is first, and the first is last. So a lot of people low on the totem pole might be the ones playing in the playoffs, right? So that's the way it goes, and you gotta look at it like that. Um, yeah, that's legit. She ranked ninth because out of 50, she's been out 50% of the games this year. Yes, that matters. You can't play if you can't hurt. If you hurt, it, you know, media rankings, yeah, they are, but at the end of the day, media rankings don't have anything to do with what you're doing on the court. That might have some. If you're talking about the votings, I think that's what you're saying. Um, oh, they have a hand in it, but it's not all them. It's not all them. So, and at the end of the day, it's going to play itself out again because you can give all the awards you want. I don't care. You can. It's great if you win the award, but don't make the playoffs. I'll take the other one. I'd rather go deep in the playoffs. Keep your award. Hang that on the wall. See how that works for you. Watching the games from the couch. That's how I look at it. Right? That's how I see it. And again, I relate it to the Eagles and Jalen Hurts. All them people that told the Eagles why we couldn't win because he was not a good enough quarterback. He was not a good enough passer. Blah, 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 yakety smackety. Meanwhile, we polishing up the ring and everybody else still sitting on the couch watching us from Cancun. So for me, rankings, lists, top fives, top tens, throw all of that shit out the window. Throw it out the window. That is something to keep a conversation going. That is it. That is it. And if you really paying attention, because that's the other thing I'm finding out very vividly is how much people don't watch the games. Don't come talking shit to me if you're not even watching. And I'm not talking about just like normal content creators, because a lot of content creators do that too. But I'm talking about main media heads, people on ESPN, Fox. It is amazing how many people don't watch the games. All they do is watch highlights. That's all they do. You do not get the context of the game if all you're watching is highlights. Can't do it. Can't do it. But in the way we live right now, man, that's what everybody doing, man. They want the quick hit. What's up, Paolo? Everybody say what's up to my man Paolo from Milan, Italy. Worldwide. Paolo, I hope you know I'm going late for you, dog. Making it happen because of you. What's up, Wody Mac? I mean, it's all fair, I guess, because it's all everybody's opinionated. So if everybody's opinionated, it can go either way. So again, the list, the rankings, all of that type of stuff, all of that means is take it for what it's worth. Pinch of salt when you watch that stuff. It don't mean nothing. What it comes down to me is when the regular season is over and we are about to start the playoffs, who's playing? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know. Who's playing? So, bruh, but you said a mouthful right there, man. A lot of these dudes, they do not watch the games. And they don't. Highlights are not the game. You get no context. You got to have context to what's going on. Easy example. Easy example. And I'm saying this, I am not the biggest Brittany Griner fan. I'm not sitting here saying that I hate her, but she's not somebody I'm watching. So I'm not a huge Brittany Griner fan. However, she did not yell that racial stuff that everybody was accusing her of doing. She didn't do it. I watched the game. I was watching the game when she fouled out. I know the context of when she fouled out, and Caitlin Clark was not even involved in the play. She fouled out against Natasha Howard. Did it look like she said it? Yeah, it kind of did. Let's keep it a buck. It kind of did. Do I believe she said it? Absolutely not. Because I watched the game and I saw the context of the game and I saw when she sat down on the bench. And I understand what she was saying, when she was saying it, and why she said it. And I know in my heart of hearts, she didn't say that shit. But everybody ran with it. It was major media outlets covering this like they had watched the game. And all you got to do is listen to them for 30 seconds. And you knew they didn't even watch the game. All they got was that little 10-second clip of it slowed up, the slow motion clip of somebody trying to read her words, read her lips. And they took that shit and they ran with it. And I was like, y'all all full of shit. All of them dudes sitting on their high horse. And you should have known, because there was a lot of guys that run them political shows trying to chime in the conversation. And that's where the problem comes along. Everybody trying to have something to say just so they can say they got something to say. They don't have anything of substance. They just want to speak on the issue. It's like giving that group book report and you the only one that didn't do no work, but they want you to get a presentation. They don't do the homework. They have zero context. And it sucks. But it's quite evident. So the one thing that I've gotten good at is turning things off. The greatest invention ever is the on-off switch. Because if I don't like it, I'm turning it off. If I don't watch Jason Whitlock and turn it off. I ain't got nothing bad or good to say. I just leave it alone because I don't engage in the content because I know it ain't gonna do nothing but piss me off. So I don't watch. Everybody's trying to get involved in the conversation just to say they got something to say. That ain't trying to. I'm trying to have a conversation. I'm not trying to speech you to death. I ain't trying to beat something over the head. And that's why I said earlier, I'm not here to change your mind. Watch the game. You watched the same game I did. Some people swear up and down, J.C. Sheldon try to scratch your eyes out. Me, somebody that's actually played and understands what happens in situations like that every week, every game, I don't think she went after her on purpose. Yeah, they got history. Good. That's a rivalry. Still don't think she did it on purpose. Yeah, man. You already know, dude. No homework. What's up, Dave? Who do you think? Who do I? Oh, for the who do I think she should play? That's a good one. Let me see if I can find. I thought I had it. No. I got so many things up. Oh, look at that. There we go. 73.85. We moving on up like the Jeffersons, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm trying to get like the list of all of the All-Stars. I had it and I don't know where it went. I got 35 different damn things open right now. Close that. Close that. Close that. Let me see. WNBA All-Star starters. Or no. Voting results. There we go. So this is talking about the ninth and okay, so that's the same thing that I just where's the complete list though? That's what I'm looking for. Maybe it's on here. Yeah, see, even on the WNBA page, can we have like left and right columns with all the people in the Eastern and all the people in the Western conferences? Like, can we do that? Is that am I asking too much? The WNBA site is suspect. Trying to keep it positive. um, yeah, this ain't helping the cause any. And I can't even look at the list. Players. Somebody gotta have it, man. Somebody gotta have it. I don't know. I'm trying to get it so I can answer your question on who I think she should start. She's gonna start Aaliyah Boston. That to me, that's the only person. Aaliyah and Kelsey. Aaliyah and Kelsey. You know what? Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. So again, I still want to bring it back to with the All-Star team. Let me see. Do they have an All-Star? Nope. Schedule standing. Yo. Kelsey Mitchell is top 10 in scoring now, even coming out of her slump. So Aaliyah Boston and Kelsey Mitchell, if you want to start those two, because Caitlin ain't starting. Well, wait, no, yes, she is, because she's the captain. So I would go Aaliyah. I would go Aaliyah. Right now, I think Kelsey Mitchell, the last 2-3 games, Kelsey Mitchell has been on a heater. But you got other guards that you could probably put over there. Like I said, I like Brittany Sykes the way she's been playing this year. She's been balling. Kelsey Mitchell is 18.9 points a game. Brittany Sykes is 18.6, so she's right behind her. You could go with Ionescu. I would go with Ionescu. I would go with um, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Sabrina Ionescu. I need a forward and a big. Satu Sabali is my forward. Now, but Satu's in the West, so no, you can't have her. Who's in the East? I wish Kiki Iriafen would be available to start. See, that's what I need to know. I need to know who the starters are. I need that list. So I'm up here struggling trying to put them all in order. So, but they got the whole complete roster, man. So they gonna do the damn thing. You know what I mean? So CC, AB, Satu, but Satu's from the West, so I don't. Are they picking both conferences? If they are, I didn't know that's what they were doing. That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know. So they get the pool of everybody, or do they just get the pool of the East and then the West? Adam, Caitlin Clark, yes, she hits logo threes, but she ain't hit a logo three in like 4 games, bro. So she in a slump right now. She couldn't hit a mirror in the bathroom. That's been the problem. So let's, pump the brakes on the logo threes and let's let her get some rest and get her legs or whatever the problem is. I don't know. Where's that on the WNBA? I was just there. Players standing schedule. Where is it at on the WNBA page? That's what I want to see. Starters revealed. Full. Okay, there you go. Full list. Yeah. See, this is the same thing. I was looking for like a side by side. Maybe I'm asking too much. So, all right. Here we go. 2025 AT&T WNBA All-Star starters: Aaliyah Boston, Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, Nafisa Collier, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Neka Gumake, Satu Sabali, Stewie, and Asia Wilson. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Yeah. So we got Aaliyah, Paige, Caitlin. Yeah, I don't know how to, because this would be Caitlin, Alicia Gray, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, and Aaliyah Boston. So that would be the starters if you're looking at everybody from the East. And then you would have Paige Beckers in the West, Paige, Fee, Neka, Satu, and Asia. So I guess position wise, the West would probably have a better squad right now. But we're gonna see what they're gonna do. We're gonna see what they're gonna do. The Twitter WNBA page, let me check that out. I appreciate that because that's what I was looking for. Let's see. Let's see. Uh, WNBA. Yeah, we're gonna talk about the new teams. Brittany Griner, All-Star, All-Star. Oh, here we go. Thank you. Ugh. Oh my gosh. So yeah, Caitlin, Fee. See, even this one, they don't really break it up into one side or the other. They just give you the list of people. and then you can figure out just by, but it gets weird because technically Minnesota is from the East. Minnesota ain't that far from damn Indiana. So it looks like Caitlin, Aaliyah, Alicia, Sabrina, Stewie. Yeah, I can see. I still think the West has got the better starter squad. Because guess what? Everybody likes Satu Sabali. Everybody likes Asia Wilson. But I tell you what, man, Nneka Ogwumike, what she been doing the last 3 weeks, she has been on a heater. The last, I want to say 4 or 5 games, Nneka Ogwumike has been straight balling. Straight balling. And of course, who's my roster? Lexi Brown. Lexi Brown, always seeing her on the podcast, and she don't ever play. She can't stay healthy. Nneka Ogwumike. But see, this is where you really see what you need to see. Look at this. Since let's look at June, right? 21 points on the 11th. She had a decent game against Phoenix. She had not so much against Golden State. She laid an egg at Golden State, but then 26 points, LA, 25 points, Vegas, 26 points, New York, 16-6, Indiana, 16-4 with Connecticut. And then again, what Golden State must have our number. Damn. Her worst games are against Golden State. It's weird. But there you go. Wody Mack, you a Lexi Brown fan? I want to see her play. I know who her daddy is. I used to watch D Brown a lot, but maybe she ain't got that same sauce. But I still want to see her play. And I'm telling you now, and I've said this before, and guess what? If Dominique Malonga does not dunk, I'm gonna be pissed off. I'm gonna be pissed. I need to see her dunk. Tired of seeing all them highlight reels of her dunking when they drafted her. Well, that's great, but let's see her do that shit in the game for real. That's what she got Crohn's disease. I did not know that. Oof. All right, I won't be so dismissive next time. Thank you. Hey, thank you for that. I did not know she had Crohn's disease, bro. Let's see what's going on next. Oh, some other news today. Y'all saw Nalissa Smith went to Vegas, and Vegas gave up a first round pick in 2027. The 2027 Juju Watkins, Michaela Williams, Madison Booker, and this 7'3" center from China, Del Razio, Malaysia for Wiley, Jaden Donovan, Hannah Hidalgo. Those are all the athletes scheduled to come out in 27. So that's going to be a good draft. I got to see Zhang Ziyu. I've heard about her. I need to see her play. You 7'3". I need to see something. Because all they're going to do is get her the ball, and then she just going to dunk on everybody. She ain't even got to jump. But it'll be very interesting to see how that works out. Because a lot of people tall like that, it don't manifest the way you think it should. So we'll see on that one. But I'm gonna keep an eye out for her. 7'3". Oh my gosh. 7'3". No, she does not, Jeff. I watch enough of her to know she does not need a fast break. All she needs to do is be able to come off that pivot foot and get a good step, and she can dunk off one leg. She's done it before. Go look at her highlights when she was in France. Whether it be like the little warm up, pep you up before the game dunk, or when she dunked in the game. She don't necessarily always need to run a start. She's 6'7", dude, and she got that long ass wingspan. Say Vegas don't need draft picks. They are gambling that they will get whatever free agents they want during the big shakeup next season. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wody Mac, I've never seen her play. I've seen the highlights of her, but I've never actually watched her play. So you telling me she got big girl disease? If you 7'3" and you can't dunk, that means you 7'3". That means you have always been the biggest woman in the room. You never had it. You never had a reason to jump. You never had a reason to jump. So why would you? This is one of them things. So I'm interested to see her. I want to see her play. I want to see her play. One of the things, if I haven't mentioned this enough, please go to ProFan Hoops. This is ProFan Talk that I'm streaming from, but that's what this was for. This other guy over here, that's on my ProFan Hoops account. So go to ProFan Hoops and go ahead and subscribe, because come August, I'm sending all of my basketball content over there. All of my basketball content is going to be on ProFan Hoops. So I'm kind of splitting it. I've had people, experts in the YouTube space, tell me that I should have one concentrating 95% Eagles. So that's what I'm going to do. And then the other one, I'm going to be doing a lot more. You over here, I'm going to be doing WNBA. I'm going to get back into doing NBA. Obviously the NCAA, and I'm going to be doing Euroball. And hell, Euroball, Australia, because I got a nephew that plays in Australia. He's all over the world. He's been to Bumi Borneo in Indonesia. He played for Goldsfield Giants in Australia in NBL 1. Now he's back. I believe he's playing for a team in Perth in Australia. So I get a chance to stream some of his games. And the interesting thing about this, about the Australian games, I can actually stream those games because they're not bought out by ESPN or somebody like that. So YouTube won't hit me with a copyright strike. So I can actually stream the game from Australia or Indonesia or wherever. So be on the lookout for that. The only thing with that is it's going to be some weird ass hours because of time difference. So, but yeah, I'm still going to support my nephew. So that's all good. Yeah. I've fallen in love with a lot of the French players. Gabby Williams, Carla Lee. My two favorite French players right now, Gabby Williams and Marine Johannes on New York. Then you got Carla Lee. Then you got, even though she didn't make the team, you got Mina Toure. You got Salon. You got a lot of French players, and they are balling. They are balling. And, people are just getting introduced to a lot of these Euro players because you saw what happened in the Olympics, and it opened a lot of people's eyes. That's how I became a fan of Gabby Williams. What she did in the Olympics. She got off in the Olympics. It was crazy. She was balling. So, man, I gotta get me a W. If I'm gonna do this, I gotta get me a WNBA overlay. All I got is like my Eagle stuff. I gotta get me a WNBA overlay. All right, I'm gonna put that on the list for next week. So, yeah, France is putting out the best players right now. Dark, what are you saying? Congratulations. Oh, for the other channel? Thank you. Yeah. So, what I'm doing is let me bring y'all in on this. So yeah, it's just so right now I am moving all of my content. Every day I'll shuffle a couple of videos over there. But you can see slowly but surely building the channel up. I got 115 subscribers and I'm just moving videos over there. That's all I'm doing. This is literally right now with the dual, like this is streaming from my other computer. That was the purpose of doing this, just so I could have a stream on that channel right now. But eventually I'm gonna start streaming basketball stuff from there exclusively. Not quite there yet, but we working on it. And I'm gonna be doing some golf stuff too. If y'all any of y'all play golf, I played in a tournament a couple weeks ago, caught the golf bug. I do not have time to play. I don't have enough time to play. But I went to the flea market. I bought two ultra drivers. Wilson Ultra drivers for $10. Two of them for $10 at the flea market. So all I'm doing when I do my golf content, I'm not playing 9 holes. I'm not playing 18 holes. All I'm doing is going to the driving range and gripping and ripping. That's all I'm doing. I even downloaded a little app that where I can track my ball flight and all that type of stuff on the phone. Set up a tripod when I'm hitting. I just like to have fun with it. It was a good. I worked out. I went and hit yesterday, and it wore me out. So I got a good workout out of it. So I'm gonna keep doing that, man. Yeah, man. I love golf. Love golf. That was what we did when I was still in the NFL. Um, the NFL day off is on Tuesday, so my apartment was on the side of a golf course, and they would let the Eagles play for free. So we used to walk to the golf. You could walk off the ninth hole of this golf course and walk to my apartment in less than 2 minutes. So one of my buddies, we used to play they had 27 holes on this course. They had red, white, and blue. And my apartment was off the 18th fair off the ninth fairway of the blues. So we would tee off, and right when we would tee off, I would call Domino's and order a pizza. And then we would finish up the hole. And from the hole, we would take the golf carts and park them right in front of my apartment. Wait till the pizza come. And back then, this is 1993, 94. Sega Genesis, playing Madden on Sega Genesis, eating the pizza, and then we would go out and play 18 more. We were doing that like 2 and 3 times a week, playing like twice a day. I was playing good, needless to say. Okay. 2 out of shape to play. Man, listen, bruh. Football shape. Yeah, we could have a long conversation about what that really means. Debo is going through that right now. So that ain't no joke. So yeah. But yeah, I'm just going out there to swing the clubs, man, have a good time. I'm not playing. So it'll be very light. It's me trying to see how far I can hit the ball. That's it. With a $5 driver. I might go back to that dude at the flea market and buy some more drivers just so I could hit them on, just to have content and hit them. So just trying to think of something different, a little fun. Don't take too much work. So that's where we are with that. All right, let's get back to the thing at hand. We talked about that, her getting voted. The bottom line is she hasn't played enough. And when she was playing, she was struggling with the three, and everybody wants to see her three. Everybody wants to see what she did. They want to see her do what she did in New York when she hit them 3 threes in 30 seconds, 38 seconds, or whatever it was. That was nasty. She was just in the zone in that game, and she has not hit good shots since the altercation in Connecticut. So I don't know if they related. Don't know. But seems like she didn't have her legs after that. And then I kind of expected them to lose the game after that, because anytime you have a very emotional win like that, it kind of takes the win from you, and you go out the next game and you'll put up a stinker because you won't have no energy. Like, that's a real thing. If you have a big emotional win, the next game, it would make sense to bet for you to lose. That would be a good bet because a lot of times you get that emotional crash. So everybody wants to be Reggie Miller. Facts. I want that check though. Everybody wants to be Reggie Miller. Um, let's talk about Kathy real quick. So Kathy was in the news because they did the press conference today announcing all of the new expansion teams, which is good. And I saw some stuff earlier yesterday and over the weekend where somebody said they would like to see Sue Bird as commissioner of the WNBA. And I was like, I like Sue Bird. I don't like Sue Bird that much. And again, this is where people don't really understand what is required of a certain position. Because Kathy Engelbert, whether you like her or not as a commissioner, number one, Kathy Engelbert kept the league from going under during COVID. That's a feat in itself. And she deserves all the credit for that. Because they almost didn't have a league anymore. So whether you like her or not, I think she's fine. I don't mind her. I wish she could do something with the refs, but that's another conversation. Now we'll type into that a little bit later because I have thoughts on that. And they're not what you think. Because I think the refs are trash, but what she can do, what Kathy Engelbert needs to do, is not what you think. But she keeping the head above water during COVID and bringing it back to what it is now. You wait for that one player, you wait for that one thing to happen, and that one thing was Caitlin Clark. Nobody saw that coming. We knew there was going to be something like that, but in my opinion, Caitlin Clark is the first. She is far from the best. She is not the best basketball player to come out. She is not. She's not the best basketball player now. What she is very exciting. She's good, even great in some moments. And she can cross you up and beat you to the punch, beat you to the rack, and then she can pull back up, create space, and launch that logo three and hit it in stride. But she is not the best player in the W. And a lot of people want to get that confused because they like her so much. And it's like, two things can be true. You can be the most popular player and not the best player. Everybody wanted A'ja Wilson to just be the most popular player. And it's like, it don't work that way. It don't work that way. A lot of people were turned off by A'ja Wilson in the Olympics after Copper in the gold medal game, after Kalia Copper went off. And A'ja Wilson did that interview where she said, what did you think of Kalia Copper? And she was like, that bitch. A lot of people were like, what? Wait, what? Like, I know what she meant. And, yes, you can say what you want to say, but that ain't going to make you no money. Because I guarantee you it was some people that wanted to do some deals with her that may have backed off because of that. So you can be the most popular player, doesn't mean you're the best player. Right now, Caitlin Clark is the most popular player. She is not the best. Far from it. She's got ways to improve. She's got things that she's got to get better at. So she can get there, but she ain't there yet, in my opinion. So, but Kathy Engelbert, what are they going to do about these refs? And what I was saying about Kathy Engelbert is there's only so much she can do as a commissioner. There's only so much you want her to do, especially with the refs, as a commissioner. What you don't want is her dictating how the refs should call the game. It's easy for us to say they got to get better. We know that. They got a hard enough job as it is. And then you got 95% of the fan base screaming and hollering every game because they continue to make these knuckleheaded calls, based on my opinion. But what you don't want is the commissioner dictating the refs what to do. That doesn't look right. That doesn't look right. You can't have a commissioner trying to tell the refs to officiate one way or the other. That's not a good look. So she can't, as much as I want something to happen with the refs, it can't be that, because that doesn't look good. Because then that really means that people are going to think that she's trying to control the game, trying to cheat, and all of that type of stuff. And that affects the betting. And if you are affecting the betting, you're affecting the money. Stop fucking with the money. So I want her, I need her to address it, but there's only so much she can do. She's got to be very strategic on what's going to happen. Very strategic. But I like Kathy Engelbert. Every time I see her on television, she's talking about business. And as much as I like Sue Bird, it's a whole different ballgame when you sit in a room with billionaires. Billionaires. So I need somebody that's sitting in that room that has experience dealing with people that are not used to folks telling them no. That's what you're dealing with billionaires. Billionaires. So I don't know if Sue Bird has that type of experience. I know she does. Those years that when she was with Deloitte and all of that type of stuff, Kathy Engelbert wasn't no joke. They don't just ask you to be a commissioner of the league just at random. That's first of all. So she's got to know her shit. And then you get hit with COVID and everything that came with that. And she's done a masterful job, whether you like her or not. That's how I feel. And no, I don't want Sue Bird in the mix. She might go in there and watch and observe and maybe learn some things, but I don't want Sue Bird calling the shots. So we're going to see when it comes down to CBA time, how long is the CBA going to be? Because we got $2.2 billion coming in from media rights money for the teams that we have now. Now you got Toronto coming, right? Golden State got here this year. Now we're talking about Portland, Detroit, and Philadelphia in 5 years. So how long is the CBA going to be? Is that going to be normally CBAs are like 7 years. So what are they going to do now? Are they going to shorten that? So me personally, I want to see Kathy Engelbert at the helm when it comes to this, because she got experience dealing with billionaires and she can make some things happen. So we'll see what they're going to do. They're not expect to have this much conversation going on. Didn't expect it. A lot of this is probably one of the biggest news days of the WNBA since I've been watching. And it's only going to get better because you already know NCAA is going to be fire next year, because now everybody wants to see all of those players that transferred. Malaysia for Wiley, Hannah Hidalgo. We want to see when Juju's coming back. It probably won't be next year, but we know she's getting rehab. Then you got Sala Swords. Then you got Toby Fournier down at Duke. So you got a lot of good players coming out. Audi Crooks is coming out, I think, next year, either next year, 26 or 27. You got a lot of good players coming out. Lauren Betts is coming out next year. So it's going to be fire. And we got a team coming to Philadelphia. That's what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, it's looking good. I want to see, and I'm trying to look at my notes with the Melissa Smith trade again. Vegas gave up second, the first round pick. I don't know what pick they are in the first round, but they gave it up. So we'll see. Um, Kathy never played. Kathy played field hockey, so she was an athlete, and she's from the Philadelphia area. So um, I know she's got a competitive streak, but business was her thing, and she knows what she's doing. David Adam Silver didn't play. He's doing a great job with the NBA. And I say great job, I'm talking about as far as the money and what they do. People can argue that the game does not look good right now, and I would agree. So, but there ain't nothing that he can really do. That's the people on the court. So I don't know. Here's the thing. I was thinking about that, right? So you got 13 teams right now, right? One, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So you got 13 teams right now. Golden State is the new addition. Next year is going to be Toronto, and then Portland. And then in 2030, Philadelphia, and I think 28 and 29 is going to be Portland and Detroit. So that 2.2 billion they get from media rights has to be split up between more teams. So my question is, how long is this new CBA going to last? Are they looking to get it lasted for 10 years? That benefits the owners, that doesn't benefit the players. So it'll be interesting to see what's going to happen, man. I think a lot of good things. I think Kathy Engelbert, I think she's doing the right thing with the. I mean, everybody's going to bitch about the refs, but in the big scheme of things, she ain't out there calling fouls. So it is what it is. It is what it is. But she's getting it done, and she's making it. She's making it work. So, um, yeah, man. I'm gonna get up on out of here, man. You know what? Nah, because I said when I put it out in the chat. So hold me to my word. I'm gonna drop the link, and we can keep going for a little bit longer if anybody wants to jump on. It is 11:25. So if you got any comments or anything like that on what we talking about, jump in the link, ask your question, and we will address it. I'm not gonna keep everybody on for like a whole back and forth conversation. So just get in, ask your question for about 2 minutes, and we'll keep it moving. That way, if anybody else want to say something, so I'll give you till if I don't have anybody by like 35, then I'll go ahead and shut it down. But it is a lot of stuff. Um, I heard a lot of people trying to chime in on Melissa Smith leaving Dejanay Carrington. Dejanay Carrington probably wasn't happy that they traded her, but that's business. That's the ugly side of pro sports, not just the WNBA, but everywhere. You never know when you're gonna get traded. You never know when they're gonna call you up and say, "Hey, come to the office and bring your playbook," and you know it's curtains for you. So that's just the way that it go, man. Am I a businessman? No, I'm not a businessman, but I know how the sausage is made. I know how the sausage is made. Protect women's sports. What's going on?
Hey, hey, let me, okay, I got a YouTube. There we go. So I
I
can.
got you.
I don't want it to echo, you know.
Yeah,
So,
you're good.
so my issue with Kathy Engelbert, you're gonna love this one. I live in Missouri.
Okay.
Okay. Bring up a map of the United States, right? You have no WNBA presence between Indianapolis and Las Vegas, Minneapolis and Dallas. You know that flyover zone that all the politicians talk about,
Yeah.
flyover America. Kathy Engelbert just flew over it. She put Portland, Portland Fire, failed team. Detroit, shock. Moved to Tulsa, moved to Dallas.
Yep.
Cleveland Rockers, oh, failed. Right. So what they're doing, right, and it's good business, I guess, but what they're doing is they're going to places where they once had existing fan bases.
Right.
They're reviving the teams and they're using Clark's fan base to get them attention because I'm from the Midwest. That's where the majority of Clark's fan base really comes from.
And
So
that's
they're
smart.
taking Clark's fan base, pimping them out, putting teams in cities where they know they'll float for at least 3-4 years. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And but but they're not growing the league. They're growing the numbers of teams, but they're not growing the league because if you don't put a team out here, Mahomes approached them, offered to buy, wanted to expand the team to Kansas City or Oklahoma City. They told him to get stuffed.
Yeah, but also with that, you got to remember, it ain't like they just made it up. It ain't like they just came up with it last week. They've had
Uh,
they've had these plans for years.
no, they weren't talking about these teams a year ago.
Yeah, but just because they weren't talking about it, don't mean that they hadn't planned. They trust me, they do not come up with stuff like this to start a process of a
Right,
whole
it takes a
franchise.
while,
Yeah, that takes a long while.
but
So, because I've seen what they did here in Philadelphia when they got like the Philadelphia Soul, the arena football team.
yeah.
That stuff takes a while, and you just can't. You're not gonna come up with a game plan in like 4 weeks.
Do you know what the Philadelphia Soul's original name was?
The Philadelphia Soul, no.
It was the Iowa Barnstormers.
Oh, they were the Barnstormers with
Yeah, that was Kurt Warner's
Kurt
team.
Warner's team. Yeah,
He left, and then I think they had a guy that had a name close to another NFL quarterback, Garcia.
Jeff Garcia.
Yeah, but it wasn't Jeff. It was another Garcia.
Yeah,
But yeah, Warner was my neighbor. They were great. That team was something else. That the Barnstormers lit it all up, and then poof, they were gone.
yeah. They got a They had a one of my good friend of mine played with him that year. The greatest show on turf that year. He won a Super Bowl with him. But I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Another thing about the draft or the All-Star game.
Yeah,
Two top vote getters, Fee and Caitlin.
yeah.
They picked they draft. They call it draft. They draft their team from the 8 remaining of the top 10, and the 12 reserves picked by the coaches. The East and West doesn't matter. They don't even. It's just kind
Just
of
it's just who they want.
versus Caitlin's team.
Oh, so it's schoolyard. Okay, I like that.
Yeah,
That'll work.
but it's not. Yeah, it's not East versus West, which I don't know. That kind of defeats the purpose of the All-Star game the way I see it.
Nah, they're trying to do something different. They're trying to do
I
something
guess
different.
somebody said the NBA did this a while back.
Oh,
Exactly.
wow. Yeah, it goes back to, I think the first one was LeBron and Curry.
Yeah.
Team Curry versus Team Bron. Then Durant had it 1 year and LeBron had it 1 year. And then Giannis had it 1 year. Bron had it like almost every year against somebody. That I remember. Once Giannis, once Curry, and once Durant. That I remember.
And to that point, man, is Dave, like we were saying, if you made the point to say that they were pimping out Caitlin Clark's fan base, which is smart. They were doing the same thing with LeBron.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Same thing with LeBron.
They're
So
corrupt. They've
they
been
they
corrupt
they,
for
they have a
years.
limited window to make this happen. And they got right now they got momentum because I look at it like this. You look at all the little girls that's at these games with the Caitlin Clark jerseys, Asia Wilson jerseys, all of them. Because now, the whole thing from last year is over. The Caitlin Clark effect has reached its altitude. Now everybody else is getting the spillover, and everybody's finally getting the publicity and getting the visibility that they wanted. So you got all these little girls that are 5, 6, and 7 right now, and in the next, when 2030 roll around and Philly come to town, now they're gonna be teenagers spending that money. So the fan base, I'm saying all that to say the fan base is there now, and the fan base is going to grow with Caitlin Clark for the next 10 years.
Oh yeah.
If she stays healthy. And then you're going to have another generation that comes after that. So I think they are in a good spot right now to cultivate their fan base, which is what they did not have back in the day. Even back in the day when they first started, when Cheryl Swoops and Lobo and all of them were playing, they didn't have as many distractions as we have now with social media and YouTube and 8 million cable channels. They didn't have that distraction. What they had was you just had a bunch of people that just weren't used to watching women's sports like this at this level. And now it's finally come back around. Caitlin Clark was the person that she kicked in the door, basically. And now they're gonna ride this momentum because you got Caitlin Clark. You got when you have the celebrities coming to the games and stuff like that, it's a wrap. Everybody gonna jump on board, and that's exactly what's been happening.
Somebody said something. Somebody said something to that effect too with the celebrities. It's like for people that like to be social butterflies, I like to be on the scene when it seems like it's something is the place to be where famous people and rich people are hanging out.
Yeah,
people want to come pop out, and maybe it says something too about the way that our society is. But then that's when you start getting even like, the strap hangers, the clout chasers, and the gold diggers will pop out. But like, oh, such and such rich bill couple of billionaires was there, they there, and he's single. Oh, we need to go to a game, girl. We might, or the dudes, who got their whatever clout chase agenda that they got going on. Like, oh, this is the spot to be. The girl's gonna be there.
Well, hey, with the way the league is, the girls are still gonna be there.
Yeah.
That ain't changed. But you know what? That's just a part of it. That's a part of the culture. I look at it like this. I remember I was working at Apple at this time. Remember when Dre, Dr. Dre dropped his headphones?
The Beats, yeah.
When the Beats came out?
Kind of, sort of.
Dude, when they first came out, they was $500.
Yep.
And I was like, who the hell is gonna pay $500 for a pair of headphones, heavy bass headphones?
They flew off the shelves.
What they did was they gave them away. They gave them to LeBron. They gave them to all of the NFL players. They gave them away and told them, just wear them when you warm up. That's all they did. It wasn't no commercials. It wasn't like too many print ads. None of that. All they did, you saw LeBron shooting free throws and warm-ups before the game with that big B on the side. And that's when they took off.
Well, they learned how to set people up at Kansas City games about Taylor Swift getting shown by Caitlin Clark going down there.
But even the funny thing with that was even with Taylor Swift, do you know how much money the NFL made off of Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah, and all she did was sit there.
So they talk all of that smack, but at the end of the day, they benefited. So they going and the next game when Taylor Swift was there, what did they do? They showed her 5 times in the booth like normal.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and last year Last year, Caitlin started going to games. Well, she even went the year before
I remember seeing her. You know what's bad when they
as a guest.
you can
You
get
know?
you can get a betting line on how many times they show Taylor Swift at a Eagles game or at a
Oh yeah,
Kansas City game.
yeah. It's horrible. You ought to hear the people here, dude. You ought to hear the people here.
Hey, but
She
whether
don't
you love
play.
her or you hate her, as
She
long as you
don't
talk about
play.
her, they win.
Quit hating us. Quit hating us for them shoving her down your throat. We didn't do it.
Nah, nah, man. But
That's
Wody Mack, what's good with you, man? What you got?
The thing that most of that piqued my interest to jump up when y'all started talking about the expansion teams, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm hearing people saying, wondering how this is going to work in the long run. Do you think it could be a thing like where they foresee that there might be some money, potentially a windfall with the money where they start breaking even or making a slight profit, and they're hoping that the teams who are doing the best, like the Liberty, the Aces, so on and so forth, marquee franchises, are going to be able to drag along some of those non-profiting teams, say like how the Charlotte Hornets or other franchises like are in the NBA, where there's other teams making so much that they can drag along struggling franchises. Do you
Yeah.
think this might be a thing?
Yeah,
And they,
because that makes sense. If you got a way to bring somebody up from the rear and make money in the process, that's one thing that these professional organizations. I used to joke around say this all the time about the NFL. The NFL gonna get their money. NBA ain't no different. We from the fan perspective, we talk about how much the NBA game sucks now and all this, but you know what? I still tuned in for the finals. And as long as the media rights continues to grow, and it's going to grow even more because now with the online component, that landscape is about to change. Because now YouTube and Amazon Prime and Hulu and Netflix and all of that, they're major players in content. Because ain't nobody going to watch Channel 6 and Channel 10 no more. You sitting on when you get up in the morning and you go sit on the toilet, the first thing you do is look at your phone. You don't look at your TV no more. So that whole aspect is changing. So in saying that, they can do that.
mm-hmm.
They can, try to expand the media rights and pull a couple teams up from the bottom. Why you think they did 41 games with the Indiana Fever? They're not stupid. Now everybody gets mad. That's too much. I even did a video about that. Is all their eggs in one basket? And the first thing you say is, well, what happens if she gets hurt? Well, now we know.
But
yeah, and I'll go ahead, my brother.
a lot of those fever games, those 41 fever games, a lot of those, like I got league pass.
Yeah, me too.
I'd hate to tell you how many fever games were blacked out on league pass.
Yeah, and I mean, ain't really much you can do about it. They're making the best. They're making the best of a bad situation. And what people, at least in my opinion, got to remember is the WNBA don't have NBA money. They don't. So they got to operate a little bit differently. And the expectation, we still expect an NBA type production and cameras and lights and quality, and they don't have it. They don't want to have it.
That's where I see how they did it right by blacking out some of those fever games.
Well, they got to black it out because that's a contractual thing.
Right. But that's in that contract. Prime was saying, we want this fever game. So all them networks that blacked them out, they're like, we want fever games. We want this fever game. So if you got league pass, you're not going to be flooded with fever games.
Right.
You're going to get a fair amount of everybody.
You're going to get whatever they showing.
Yeah. If you're that hung up on only watching the fever, you're going to be watching a lot of replays.
Right. But they kind of got you in a bind because this happened with the NFL last year. Like I said, the NFL gonna get their money. And I believe I believe it was a Thursday night game. It was 2 games on Thursday night. The one game was on NFL Network. The other game was on Peacock. But who the hell has Peacock? So you know what you had to do? If you wanted to watch the game, I believe it was the Eagles Green Bay game, and it was like, go ahead and pay the $10 for the Peacock trial, and you get it free for a month. So you get it for, $10 for 2 months, and then you cancel it because I gotta watch this game.
Yeah.
And how many people never canceled it? That's how they make their money.
I signed up for an Amazon Prime deal to watch a Fever game.
Yeah.
And they got me last month because
somebody's gonna do it, bro.
Cancel.
Hey,
somebody's gonna do.
I don't know about y'all, coach, but my bank account still set up to where anytime money leave, I notice it.
Oh yeah, I see
Yeah.
it. Mine does it too. I just once they snatch it though, I'm screwed.
Once it's gone, it's gone. But at the end of the day, it comes down to the product. Because like I say it like this. What's up, KSAP? I say it like this. The WNBA is looking for me. And what I mean by that is I am only a second year fan. This is my second year being invested in the WNBA. The league is looking for people like me. I didn't give a damn about the WNBA 3 years ago. Now I'm invested. I'm paying money. I bought the league pass. I'm gonna buy me some merch. As soon as Philadelphia got a name, I'm buying merch. Whatever it is, I'm getting it. So I'm spending money. They're looking for people like me. The diehard fans that have been around with Cheryl Swoops and can name you 30 players and all of that kind of stuff. They're not going anywhere. They're looking for the people like me that are new money. Because the diehard fans have been there.
They already got them.
Yeah, but
loyal customers.
But my point is this: the diehard fans have been there, and they haven't made any money. That's my point.
Yes,
the diehard fans have been rolling diehard for 28 years, and they made a lick of money. Now you got Caitlin Clark happens, Angel Reese happens, and all this new visibility comes in, and everything that comes with that. And they're trying to take advantage of it because we are the people that they want. We didn't care about them 3 years ago. And now we spending money. They trying to double that. Thus the 41 games. So when everybody was crashing out because Caitlin Clark got hurt and the ratings plummeted 55%, who cares? She coming back. And if there's one thing that the WNBA has shown is that they know how to operate with low ratings. They can handle that. They'll be all right.
And they already got the money from the broadcast deal.
Yeah.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if Clark's ruined tomorrow. They still got that deal, and it's $2.6 billion, which means $260 million a year spread amongst the league. And then the expansion. I heard a report today that said the Valkyries only paid a $50 million franchise fee, and these last 3 teams are paying a $250,000 or $260,000.
Yeah, like it went up. It went up crazy high.
Yeah, it went up 5 times.
The demand.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta. This is what happens when a sport becomes mainstream. They can't give you the hometown discount, and that's what they're banking on. So everybody out there complaining because it's too much Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is gonna set the tone. If the viewership goes through the roof when Caitlin Clark is playing, that's the bar they're gonna set.
Yep.
So the next time, I'm curious to see when they finally get into negotiations with the CBA, how long is it going to be? Because the CBA is usually, and again, I'm comparing it to football.
5.
The CBA is usually 7 years, right?
Okay.
How long is this CBA going to be? Because the next one and the next media rights deal is going to be more than $2.2 billion. And if the truth be told, the NBA could have gave them more. The NBA could have gave them $6 billion.
Yep.
but they didn't. So eventually, I still think if things continue to go the way they're going for the WNBA might be able to get themselves in the black in about 4 to 5 years. If everything continues to progress like it is now. I could be wrong, but I think they are trending in the right direction to start paying folks back their money and get themselves in the black, and they can start being productive and profitable.
Right. I think they're operating in the black, but they have outstanding debt.
Well, no, they losing. They was losing 40. What? No, they were losing 20 million a year.
40 or 50 a year.
And the 50. It was 20. The 50 came when they had to get the planes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
When the Caitlin Clark thing happened, it became a security issue going through the airports. So they had to get the private plane. That was a $20 million deal. So now the normal $20 to $25 million loss turned into a 45 to 50.
And they fined the Liberty for flying the year before.
Yeah, they try to implement them rules, but
and it was even crazy though, is that was that man's personal plane.
Yeah.
But it's again like there was like unfair advantage, so on and so forth. Hey, trust me, I understand, I get it.
Yeah, that's one of the things where you're dealing with people that got enough money. They got that FU money, so they don't care.
You're a billionaire, Chinese billionaire. The man owned the Nets too.
Exactly. And you know what? Mentioning billionaire, I said this earlier. I don't know if I said this earlier when they was talking about they want Sue Bird to be commissioner. Sue Bird ain't used to sitting in a room with billionaires. That's a whole different level. Kathy Engelbert, whether you like it or not, has experience sitting in those rooms. Sue Bird doesn't. Your jumper was nasty, but your business acumen, you can't get with Kathy Engelbert. And that's the one thing people tend to forget. She ain't gonna be the best commissioner. Everybody gonna be mad at something. You can't please everybody. But like I said before,
Kathy's degree.
She kept the league from going under during COVID. She know what the hell she doing. She knows what the hell she's doing. So
I think I've heard Kathy say it herself. Yeah, and again, misquote me, I may be wrong, but I think I've heard Kathy say that she did go to school for marketing.
Yeah, she went to she from up here. She from the Philadelphia area.
Yeah,
so
she went to school for that.
Well, why do you think that company Deloitte is all over everything with the WNBA? That's the company she used to work for.
I don't even know what it is.
Deloitte is. Let me look that up.
Deloitte Trading, right?
Yeah. It is. I do believe it's a financial company. Yep. Services network.
Financial trading. Yeah.
Trading company.
Accounting firm. Yep. They handle the money. Stop effing with the money. So she knows what she's doing, man.
I just think they're dropping the ball, not putting a team in the Midwest. It's a desert, and there's a whole lot of people that they're just saying, "Hey, drive 8 hours. You have to drive 8 hours."
But
I'm assuming you feeling like Kansas City because that name came up, right?
Yeah,
but just keep in mind, right? What I'm noticing, this is another thing too, since y'all did bring up this conversation. A lot of people get from underneath the NBA's wing, get independent. But there are a few teams that are there in the league that are not necessarily tied to an NBA franchise. But notice a lot of them are already, like the Golden States, the Indiana, so on and so forth, Liberty, right? And the ones that they added are in cities that have an NBA team.
Correct.
Yeah,
right? There is no team. Oklahoma City would be your best bet, and then the reason why, again, make sense of it, make the logical sense of it. If you can't necessarily give them all the facilities that you would like to, if they can share facilities with their brother team or their sister team, then you kind of saving, killing two birds with one stone. So to speak.
You can stop right there. Look at what Indiana's doing right now.
Sharing everything. Yep.
Kansas City hasn't had any basketball presence since The
Well,
Kings
no,
went
but
to
it's
Sacramento.
but the point is you're trying to go to a city that already has the infrastructure.
Yeah,
Right. A
right. I
team
get
there.
it.
Even
And they
look
latch
at the,
on, and they latch on to the NBA team and share resources.
right. Look at the situation that happened in Indianapolis with when they played. Remember when they said all of that shit about it was people doing racist shit to Angel Reese when she was shooting free throws?
Yeah.
Yep.
When that came out, I was like, that's bullshit. Because they are at an NBA facility. So I know security in a facility like that is on point. You got cameras that can zoom into every seat in that arena. So if there was something going on that was not right, they would have found it.
But that bullshit served its purpose because Duana Bonner played a kick-ass game that night. She played a fucking lights out game that night. And then after that, she quit playing.
Well, she got other issues going on. That's
Yeah.
She walked away from the team for a reason. Whatever
And
those
a lot of
reasons
us
are.
believe that the reason is that you got benched.
She got
Exactly.
Ego got into it. You got benched for
took her
a role player.
Exactly. But
You
that
got
role
benched
player
for
was
a role
balling.
player.
They
Yeah.
took her starter spot because after that game, she quit performing like she did in that game. So they gave her spot to Lexi. And she was like, no, I ain't having this shit.
Well, as a former player, I take issue with the fact that they gave her spot. Lexi took that shit.
Absolutely.
They
Yeah,
didn't give her
absolutely.
nothing. Because you know what? Duana Bonner was what, 15 years in the league? How you
Yeah.
gonna get caught on back-to-back offensive series and get caught with the ball in your hand and the shot clock runs out twice, back-to-back?
And how do you be a 15-year veteran and then act like, oh, if I'm not the starter, I'm taking my ball and going home?
Because at the
Yeah,
end of the
kind
day,
of, sort of.
The
professional athletes still
WNBA,
have
where
egos.
they treat them all with kid gloves.
They still got egos. Because when here's the thing, and I give credit to Indiana for this. When she wasn't showing up for games, and then they finally took her banner down, that means a conversation was had on both sides.
Yep, that means it's over.
That means they took the L. She cleared waivers, so now she off the payroll.
Yeah,
And
and
I
they
would have been
don't,
like, if she go to Phoenix, number one, that's gonna be a bad look. Number two, Phoenix is crazy because Phoenix was balling right now. They don't need no distractions.
Yeah.
right?
You
And
want to
now-
add a number 4 to that? I don't think she fit on Phoenix the way they play.
Hell no.
and
Satu
now
Sabally will run rings around her.
they don't even have to honor her contract.
No, that's what I'm saying. They had to have a conversation where that was mutually agreed
They can
upon.
pay her vet minimum.
But guess what? She ain't had no problem accepting that $200,000 contract when she went.
Yeah, that's my problem is that she didn't have a problem taking that money, and it's like it don't sit right with me. I'm coming from the W. I'm coming to the W with my only familiarity with sports really is the NFL and Major League Baseball. I'm not a big basketball head. The only basketball I ever liked really growing up was the Iowa high school tournaments.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. This happens in the NFL too. I remember, now I'm going back a ways.
Antonio Brown.
Nah, you ain't got to go that far. There are people. I remember we had a guy in camp when I was in camp with the Eagles. We had a guy in camp. He was a legacy player. He had the family name and everything, and he was having a good camp. And then one day he was gone. And of course, you look around, you look at his roommate like, yo, where your boy? Chasing after his girlfriend. Boo loving. Missed his girl. Left camp. There's a clip from Hard Knocks where the coach at the time, the coach of I believe it was the Tennessee Titans, had to cut a player because the dude couldn't stop sneaking girls in his room, and that's a no-no when you in camp. So they had to cut him. So, and I'm saying all that to say, in some way, shape, or form, people do that all the time. So while what she did was she quit, walked away from a team. If people want to argue the verbiage that I use, she didn't quit. She made the decision. Yeah, okay. She walked away from a
we
team.
won't play semantics now.
You call it what you want to call it. I'm not here to convince you. But she been in the league for 15 years. She know how the sausage is made. She knew exactly what she was getting into. She cleared that check. She cashed a couple of them before she got up out of Dodge. And I guess she did think she was just going to be the starter by default. And you got to remember, as a pro player, rule number one is, I don't care what sport you play, your job is on the line every night.
Yep.
You can get got every night. They can knock on your door, tell you to come to the office and bring your playbook. Thank you for your time.
Go way back, and Lou Gehrig never got off the bench until this one guy that nobody remembers his name had to sit out one game. Lou Gehrig took his spot.
Yeah.
Guy never played again. Not for the Yankees.
Yep. There's always something else going on. Here's some history for you. I believe it was Jackie Robinson.
Gehrig did, brother. Remember that? We're kind of older. A lot of youngins, they don't remember who Gehrig was and what he did.
Man. I'll be 55 in 2 weeks.
62.
So I'm like, we OG triple OGs, man.
Gehrig, I don't know about you who, right? But Lou Gehrig played for the Yankees back with Babe Ruth, and the dude never missed a game until he come down with some deadly disease and absolutely could not play. Never missed a game, and it took like 40 or 50 years for Cal Ripken Jr. to break his record.
Yeah, but so when it comes to like DeWanna Bonner and the attitude about either not playing or that stuff happens all the time. Like I remember, like this is kind of off the beaten path, but I'm a coffee guy. I like coffee, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I started buying. There's a brand of coffee called Chock full of nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know it.
I read the history on it with Jackie Robinson. I didn't know that. The reason Jackie Robinson stopped playing was because he didn't want to go to LA. When the Dodgers moved from Brooklyn to LA, he didn't want to move. So he stayed in New York and he walked away from baseball, and he helped this company run Chock full of nuts, because at the time they were the only company that would serve the black folks, and they would hire black folks in they shop, and he ended up running the shop.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Chock full of nuts. Chock full of nuts. Look it up. They made Jackie Robinson like vice president so they could hire more African Americans at that time. So there's history behind it.
Didn't you used to be able to go in the store and Chock full of nuts would have raw whole beans and you'd grind your own coffee?
Yeah.
Not chock full of nuts.
Well, they started out, they used to sell bagel, like cream cheese and bagels. Now, mind you, this is like what, the 30s and 40s or whatever.
Yeah, so, that's for the Jews.
Yeah, it was a different time back then. But I'm saying all that to say, athletes have their reasons on why they want to walk away. I don't know what DeWanna Bonner's was.
I just don't agree with the walking away in the middle of the season because
neither do I.
The starter spot.
Neither do I. But my perspective is always, well, now what? Yeah, I don't agree with it. It's wrong. Everything that you can say wrong is wrong. But she did it. Now what?
Right. Well, it frees up some money. They should be hunting for a big, and they don't have to wait.
They need to get that chick. They need to get that chick from. Is she from Belgium? The chick playing the Eurobasket right now. Amisa.
Hey, but they have said as much now that it makes me wonder about them. They said that they don't have any international scouts and they weren't looking overseas for players. So they're not even focused on looking at anybody that's not stateside or already has been on a roster, which is as much as we give them praise for what they did, it don't look like they're making the greatest decisions as a front office.
No,
Maybe
that's-
some here that Ari McDonald, okay. Natasha, how do you thought it would work? It's an okay move. The Sophie
Well,
Cunningham move,
I like
okay
Natasha
move.
Howard. I think Natasha Howard been
it's
balling.
like Ari's great. Ari's great. but
Ari, the
they-
Ari and Sophie move has been the best move, and that's like in hindsight. And like I guess you couldn't foresee Dewana Bonner being so bad, but then to make the statement that y'all not even looking at overseas players because y'all don't have the scouts, so on and so forth, and yet the teams like the Liberty Lynx and so on, and the Valks are getting all these hidden gems that everybody's coming in and
Yeah.
contributing. And bruh,
But that's a good
they
point.
thinking too old school. I'm saying they thinking it's way too old school.
Not necessarily, because we whooped up on New York the second game, and we should have won the first game.
Yeah.
So something needs to be said about that, because as everything sits the way that it is right now, we done held our own against the best in the league. Now we done come up short because we can't make shots, but
Yeah.
even most of the games, with the exception of maybe 2 games, most of the games, even the ones that we lost, we were in at the end. We had opportunities to win that game. We just didn't make shots.
A lot of fans are taking exception with all the overseas players, like Dantas is going down for America, and you got all those players that took the time off for the Euro basket. A lot of fans are taking issue with it because they're like, "Hey, you signed up to play here." Or
Nah, they do that.
team.
They do that. What you call it? Exposed that last year when that whole thing went down with Gabby Williams. Remember after the Olympics, and then Angel Reese tweeted something to her, was like, "You need to come to play for Chicago." And I guess Angel Reese didn't know about the history between Gabby Williams and Chicago Sky, and she was like, "Any place but there." And then everybody started looking at how they do the contracts with the European players, and it wasn't fair.
Right.
But now they're not doing that no more, which is why you see Salon and Johannes and Carla Leet and Malonga. Now they understand what they were giving up, so they try to make it better, and it's going to change again with the new CBA. So, but fellas, I got to close this up because I've been on this too long, and I got to go to work in the morning.
Well, it's like 2:00 in your world.
That's 12 o'clock here, so.
Well,
But
ain't 2 here.
It is officially
That
the
clock
first.
in the corner says it's 2:00 somewhere.
Yeah, it's 12:05 on the East Coast. It is officially the first day of July, so we are officially in my birthday month. So
Oh, happy birthday, old man.
we got to celebrate. So I appreciate it. But I'm gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate everybody being on the chat. I can't be like KSOP, man. KSOP be going to like 3 a.m. I can't do that.
Oh, dude.
I ain't trying to do that, man.
Courtside Junkie had a stream today that ran 6 hours.
Wow. They be grinding, boy. They be grinding.
And he couldn't get him off. You know what I mean? He's like, I gotta go. But hey, let's take another 5 minutes. I gotta go.
I got to shut this puppy down. But before we get up out of here, appreciate everybody coming. Wody Mac, Dave, appreciate you being on there here, man. And what we're gonna do right now is, if you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't subscribed to my other channel, Pro Fan Hoops, please mosey on over there and subscribe. I appreciate you. We're gonna be getting up out of here. We're gonna have some more content tomorrow because I believe Indiana plays for the Commissioner's Cup tomorrow, so I'll be streaming that game. So tune in tomorrow. We're gonna be back at it, man. But right now, y'all enjoy the rest of your week. I'm gonna get ready to go to work. I'm going to bed right now, then I got to get up and go to work and do it all again, man. So I appreciate everybody. Dave, Brandon, Demonat, Dark with a Smile, Joshua Wark, Jeff Blaze, who am I missing? Barbara, who was in that? Barbara York, appreciate you. Everybody in the chat, man, appreciate the conversations. I like to have conversations, not monologues, man. So thank you. And I'm going to see you guys in the next one. Don't be a stranger. Talk to y'all later. Peace.